Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongeth to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waharakah Quadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Okay, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that teach us truth well, and that continue to teach us truth well. And to the hopeful elect, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning across the globe. Okay, this lesson is going to be a variety of topics, and Lord willing, risks to be edifying, because that's what we're out here to do, to edify the flock, to feed the flock, okay, with this word. Okay, so we're going to start off with, let me just a minute. We're supposed to be passionate about this thing. Every day, this is what we live for. Not for the world, we live for this truth. Let's start on 1 Peter's 1 and 2. Okay. 1 and 5, so like 1 and 4. To whom common is as unto a living stone. Okay. Disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High and precious. Okay. So when Yahweh was on the earth, he was despised amongst his own. Okay. Most of the people, they didn't accept him. Okay. Oh, there was only a small remnant that accepted Yahweh Shai. Okay. So disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High and precious. And me that are bought of the hopeful elect, hope the same thing. That's why it's good when people hate you, when people separate you. That's a good thing. You're on the right track. Okay. Speak the truth, regardless of what these people, regardless of their feelings. Speak the truth. Okay. Verse 5, ye also are lively stones, are built up the spiritual house. So in this truth, we're supposed to be lively. Lively stones. See, we're not just stones, we're lively stones. Okay. Lively, apt to teach, ready, not in a lackadaisical spirit. Okay. Even when we're down, even when you're down, you still have the spirit of, I still want to teach. That's the spirit to be in. Okay, of teaching. Teach the people the word. They need to hear these words. Okay. Built up a spiritual house. So a spiritual house is being built right now. Okay. And holy priesthood. So it's not just a spiritual house, it's a holy priesthood. And this the house, the spiritual house of Dawad, David. Okay, the Bayaf, what? Dawad. It's being built. And you can't call yourself a member of the house of David, but you're against the words. You can't call yourself the house of David, but you despise the words that are coming out of the scripture. That does not add up. Because you have men say that the house of David are coming together, but where do you fall into that? Because if you despise these words, that means you're despising the house of David. Okay, because the house of David is built upon what? The words. Okay, the truth. The house of David was not built upon lies, deceit. Okay. A holy priesthood. So this is a holy priesthood. All of us are priests, and there's different levels to what the priesthood. Bear me just a minute. It's getting warm out here. And there's different levels to the priesthoods also. Okay. That's what we are, a spiritual house. So if we're a spiritual house, that means everybody's supposed to be what? A stone in that house, in that building. Because this is a body. Okay. To offer up spiritual sacrifices. So what sacrifices? They're sacrifices, but they need to be spiritual sacrifices on the right hand side, not the left hand side, because that's not gonna prevail. Okay, so spiritual sacrifices, and them sacrifices are what? On the right hand side, not on the left hand side. The left hand side is losing. The right hand side is winning. Okay, bear me just a minute. The right hand side is winning. Okay. The right hand side is winning. The left hand side is losing. Okay. And part of that spiritual sacrifice is us. Okay, let's quickly go to Romans 12. The Lord requires a sacrifice every single day. And not any sacrifice, a spiritual sacrifice. So you could be offering a sacrifice, and that sacrifice may not be acceptable. Okay, so this sacrifice, it has to be acceptable unto Yahweh Sham, Yahweh Shai. Okay. Romans 12, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies. Okay, me being shown mercy, knowing this truth is mercy in itself. Okay, by the mercies, okay, of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. This is what we're supposed to be doing every single day, offering our bodies a living sacrifice unto Yahweh Shai. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, as much as you can do, you know how far you can go. Because you got men, and what is it, camp day for brothers in London. You got men that are going to come to camp, but for the rest of the week, they were not really doing anything. They were slacking, they were being deceitful. So it's a pattern, but that's on them. Okay, you want to make sure you're doing what you have to do. Okay, present your body as a living sacrifice. So your body in itself is a sacrifice to the Lord, a righteous sacrifice, acceptable sacrifice. Okay, because even back in the ancient world, you couldn't just give any sacrifice. It had to be acceptable. Okay, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service, because this is our service and it's reasonable. What we're doing is reasonable. We're not asking for nothing. We're not asking for no money. It's reasonable. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. This is 1 Peter 2 and 5, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by our power, Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, where also it is contained in the scripture. Behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone. And who's that chief cornerstone? Yahweh Shai. He's the head of the church. He's that head stone. Okay, very, very important. This is what we need to realize in this truth. He is that head stone. Okay, elect, precious. Okay, and he that believe on him. So you need to believe in what? That cornerstone, which is Yahweh Shai. Elect, precious, and he that believe on him shall not be confounded. So again, those that have put their faith in Yahweh Shai and that believe, they're not going to be confounded. It's those that haven't put their faith in Yahweh Shai, they're going to be confounded when all hell breaks loose. Okay. Unto you therefore which believe, he is precious. But unto them which be disobedient, hard-headed, the scriptures talk about our people being sottish, disobedient, foolish. Okay. But unto them which are disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made of the head of the corner, Yahweh Shai, and a stone of stumbling. So this word to the 2/3 of our nation is going to be what? A stone of stumbling. Over the littlest things, there's going to be particular things in the scriptures that are going to be what? A stumbling block to our people, just for their own demise. Okay, just for their own demise, because Yahweh Shai does not want all of our nation to get it on this side. Okay. A stumbling. When you stumble, you're tripping, you're falling over. Okay, a stumbling and a rock of offense. So this word's going to be a stumbling block and a rock of offense. A rock of offense to our own people. Why? Because they were not given the understanding. So if you're not given the understanding, obviously something's going to be an offense. And that's why it says they shall speak evil of the truth. The truth shall be evil spoken of. Why would someone of our nation speak evil of the truth? Because they speak evil of what they don't understand as brute beast. Okay, so we're only out here for the nation of Israel. It's a beautiful day today, regardless of the hell we catch. It is a beautiful day. Okay, we're unto they were appointed. So our people were appointed not to understand this truth. 2/3 of our people, they were appointed unto death. They were appointed unto misery. Okay, that's their lot. You cannot do anything to change that. All we got to do is keep what? Enduring, keep preaching this truth. Don't be concerned about them. Okay, be concerned about those that are sincere about this truth. They're the ones you're supposed to be concerned about. Okay, but ye are a chosen generation. Okay, so there's a generation, genia, a lineage within the nation of Israel, a royal priesthood. So we're royal, we're not just priests, we're royal people, so we've got to conduct ourselves in that manner. Our people, they don't want to conduct themselves in that manner. Okay? A peculiar people that you should show forth praise of him. Peculiar. When you go to that word peculiar, it means weird, strange. Okay? A bit strange, a bit weird, different. Okay? Right, you should show forth the praise of him, Yahweh Shai, who called you out of darkness. So if we've been called out of darkness, that means we've been called out of this world. Okay? Into his marvelous light, because we were once in darkness. Now we've been called to this marvelous light, which is his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is able to make us wise unto salvation. Okay? Which in time past you were not a people, but now the people of the Most High, which have not obtained mercy, but now have which had not obtained mercy, because the Heavenly Father, for a little while, he turned his back towards us, but now have obtained mercy through who? Through Yahweh Shai. Now we're going to get straight to the book of Ezra. Because what these other nations are trying to do, they're trying to stop this building. Okay? They're trying to stop us from building. Remember, they don't really want us to become a nation, because the moment we become a nation, we wake up, we become enlightened, and we realize these other nations are under us. Okay, and this is what our people don't realize. They want, stop trying to worry about the other nations. The other nations are going into slavery. Why are you concerned with the other nations? Because you're following their philosophies, you're following their ways. Who cares about the other nations? Okay, the other nations are going to be destroyed. Thus saith the Holy Bible. Okay, so let's go to 2 Ezra 4. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Lord thy power of Israel. Okay, so this was the time of what? Cyrus. Okay, the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, then they came to Zerubbabel, and there was a temple what being built. Okay, and right now in the spiritual sense, this temple is being built, a spiritual temple. Okay, then they came to Zerubbabel, who was an Israelite, and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you. So it's the same today. The other nations, some of them want to build with us. They see this 12 tribes sign. How comes we ain't on that sign? Okay, where are we on this sign? Where do we fall in? Okay, and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your power as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of our Shahadadan. And this was during what? The time, the period of what? Where is it? In 2 Kings, when you had what? Those that were taken out of, where was it? Taken out of the land of Samaria and put into the land of Assyria. So you had those that were doing sacrifices unto the Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay. So that's why they said that we do sacrifice unto him since the days of our Shahadadan. Okay. King of Ashur, which brought us up hither. But Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, okay, ye have nothing to do, okay, with us to build an house unto our power. So these other nations, they have no business in this truth. They're nothing to do with this building. They're nothing to do with this tabernacle. Okay, it's not for them. Okay, it's not for them. Okay, you have nothing to do with us to build a house unto our power, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord. That's what we're doing right now. What are we building with this truth? None of these other nations, they have nothing to do with this. Okay, they're not a part of this fold. Okay, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord Yahweh Shai, power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, have commanded us. Why? Because they were given that decree by Cyrus, okay, king of Persia, to build that temple. Okay, to go to Jerusalem to build up that temple. Then the people of the land, see this is how much these other nations are demons. Then the people of the land weaken the hands of the people of Judah and trouble them in building. So it's the same today. If these people know they don't have a part in this truth of building, what do you think that other nations are going to do? Try to stop you from building. It's the same today. You got Esau that's against us, our main rival, our main enemy. And you even got these other nations, okay, that come up against us to try and stop us from building. Okay, Elam, Ishmael, all these other nations, Moab, okay, even the Hamites, okay. And they troubled them in building, and then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah. So why didn't it say weaken the hands? Because they were coming up against them, warring against them while they were building the temple. That's why, while they were building that temple, they also needed what? A weapon also by them. Because they were constantly being attacked. That's why the temple took so long to build. Because they were constantly under attack by the enemy. So this shows you the ancient hatred they have for us, and that hatred is still here, that these other nations have. Okay. And he hired counselors against them. So he hired, paid counselors, mercenaries. So it's the same thing today. Esau will hire mercenaries. Okay. He will hire Elam. He will hire these different electrical engineer technicians to try and frustrate your purpose. Why do you think your videos are getting taken down? Why do you think all that? Look, it's all a part of what? The scriptures. Nothing is new underneath the sun. What they were doing thousands of years ago, they're doing the same thing back again today. Why do you think your channels are getting flagged? It's the same thing. They're trying to frustrate your purpose. Okay. All the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, until the reign of Darius, king of Persia, and in the reign of Ahasuerus, okay, Xerxes, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem. And in the days of Artaxerxes, Xerxes wrote Bishlam, so we're done with that. Okay, so the whole point of that, they tried to stop what? The building. And it's the same thing today. This is why we have to keep pushing. Okay, let's quickly go to Psalms 83. Baba Kasha. This is Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. What's a tumult? Okay, a loud noise. Okay, a roaring. Okay, a uproar. So our enemies, they are against us. That's what you have to realize. Yes, the children of Israel, they have enemies, many. Okay, and they that have hate thee have lifted up thy heads. So our enemies, they hate us. And guess what? They've lifted up their head in pride, in arrogance, in pomp. Okay, why? Because right now you look in this society, who's really got a foot up? Esau. And Esau, what does he do? He sets up Elam to run these petrol stations. Elam with his stores. In London, Moab's got their own Chinatown. All of these different things. But Jake hasn't got his own type of thing in this society. So that's it. Okay, Jake can't really thrive in this society. This society is not for us. This is our captivity. Okay. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that have lifted up their heads. Okay, they that hate thee have lifted up. So we got enemies that hate us. Okay, have lifted up thy heads in proud, in arrogance. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Crafty. That's crafty, is secret counsel. So they do, you look, it's not just Esau, these other nations are taking crafty is secret. You go into somewhere where nobody sees. It's hidden counsel. Okay, so don't just think it's Esau, it's all the nations. Okay, and consulted against thy hidden ones, which are who? The prophets. Okay, the children of Israel, they're the hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. So the goal of these other nations are to cut us off from becoming a nation. So in other words, these other nations, they don't want you to come back to your true nationality. They'd rather that you would follow their philosophy, because as long as they can do that, they can keep manipulating you. As long as they can do that, they can keep selling stuff to you, which you don't even need. As long as you can do that, they can keep you in a low state. Okay? It's psychology. If a people, and all the nations know this, if a people don't know who they are, they can constantly be manipulated. Okay, but once you know who you are, you can no longer be manipulated. And once, really, further than that, once you have the understanding, Once you know who your power is, you can no longer be manipulated. Because you know who your power is. Okay? But the name, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So they completely tried to cut us off. Completely. If that's not hate, you tell me what is. If that's not hate. That's hate. To cut someone off from becoming a nation. That means you're trying to cut off their whole remembrance. You're trying to cut off who they are as a people. That means you're trying to keep them lost. And all this happened during what? The transatlantic slave trade. Because in every other captivity, we knew who we were. So this actually happened. This actually was fit into the transatlantic slave trade. They completely tried to do away with us. And that's why you have them gutter rats in the land of Israel calling themselves Jews, but they are not Jews. They're gutter rats. They're imposters. Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. So all these nations, they came together with one consent, with one mind. Okay? Consulted. That's their meetings. One consent. NATO, Jake ain't up in them NATO meetings. These world leaders, Jake ain't up in them NATO meetings. That's another conspiracy. NATO, what do you think these meetings are about? The meetings ain't just about World War III and trading. A lot of them meetings are about Jake, 12 tribes of Israel. What are they going to do next? NATO is a part of the New World Order. Okay, a big part. So don't think when they're having these meetings, these councils, it's just about war, trade agreements. Yes, some of it is, but a lot of it is to do with you tribes. How they can keep you down, how they can bring in new laws through Washington. For they have consulted together with one consent. So they've all come together with one consent, with one purpose. They are confederate against thee. So the scripture's letting us know they are confederate. Okay? They've all joined up. Okay? To be confederate, you're all in alliance. So all these other nations, they're in alliance. Okay? Against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, the dwelling place of Edom. Edom is Esau, Edom. So-called white people are main enemies that call themselves Europeans. And the Ishmaelites, them sun niggas that are in the region of Saudi Arabia and also in the region of Palestine. Okay? Which is Israel. Okay? Which are not the true Palestinians, the Ishmaelites. Of Moab, these Gooks. Okay, these Chinese. Okay, and Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, and Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, these Hamites. Okay? They all had a part in our captivity. They all had a part in trying to bring us down. And they're still doing the same thing. Just go to the communities of Jake. And who's there? Who do you see there taking advantage? Elam. Elam. You see Elam there selling poison to your people. You see what? Ammon there. Okay. Putting what's it for the hair? What's it? The nail varnish salons. Which all that nail varnish, that's all poison. That's all poison. Okay. Dog fried rice. I don't even eat that Moabite food anymore. All that rubbish. So they take advantage. All these nations take an Ishmael. They're selling hair products to your women. Okay, which they cut off a dead man, well, not even a dead woman's skull, a live woman. Where do you think they get that hair from? They get that hair from Elam. They get that hair from Taiwan. They get that hair from Philippines. So that hair, that Eve is putting on her hair, that wig, that's another woman's hair, which that woman's most likely a heathen. And they pray to them demons over that, and you wonder why your woman's got demons on her. Because she's got demons on her scalp. Okay, this is real. These nations are taking advantage in every which way. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. The tabernacles of Edom and Ishmaelites. of Moab and the Hagarenes. So it says tabernacles of Edom. Also, Esau, as we went into, the Hagarenes, all these nations. Asher is also joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. So all these nations, they've conspired against us. This is what makes us aware. Okay, and within that, we've even got enemies of our own nation. So this is truly a battle. And we can only overcome our enemies through Yahushua. Okay, that's why it says, let's go to Luke. Excuse me. No, you know what? Let's go to, before we go to Luke, let's go to Joel. Baba Kasha. This Joel. Let's go to Joel 3. For behold, in those days, in that time, I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. And I will also gather all the nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So this is kind of going into another topic. The valley of Jehoshaphat is what? The valley of the wine press, the valley of judgment. And all these nations are going to be brought there for that final World War III. As soon as they pass that border. And what border is that? The border, what, that Persian border. Okay, the Persian Gulf. That's when it's still going to break loose. Okay. And again, the captivity, and I will also gather all the nations, I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So who's going to be doing that? The Lord Jehovah. He's going to be the ones putting that hook in their jaws, as it mentions in Ezekiel, what, 38? Okay. With Russia, all these other nations are going to get involved. Okay. And bring them down into the valley of Yehoshaphat. Wine press, judgment. That's going to be that third world war. Armageddon. Okay. And I will plead with them there for my people Israel. So this is where all the nations are going to be brought down for that final World War III. Armageddon. Okay. And you notice how it says, I will plead with them. So these nations, they're going to be judged. Okay. These nations are going to be judged. What? In that region. Okay. The Middle East. That's where that last World War III is going to be. In the Middle East. In that region. Okay. For my people and for my heritage. So why is this happening? Why is this World War III going to be happening? For the people of the Lord. Okay. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Indianos. This is why they're all going to be brought to that region for what they've done to the children of Israel. That recompense. Okay. Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So during our captivity, what do? They scattered us. Remember what we read in Luke 83, that they tried to do away with us. So what do? They put what? Them gutter rats in that land, Esau, Edom, Amalek, and they put Falasha Jews in that land, them so-called Ethiopians, and they put even Moabite. You even got Moabites, Orthodox Greeks, Turkish. You got Turkish Edomites in that land. Okay. The Orthodox priests, all up in that land of Israel. That's what they did. They parted the land. You got Ishmael in that land. Okay. And I've scattered among the nation and parted my land, divided it, and I've cast lots for my people, and I've given away for a harlot. When did they do this? During slavery, the transatlantic. That's why you got to know history. You've got to read up on what? Deuteronomy 28. It tells you all about that, what they done. Okay. It was a triangle slave trade. All the nations had a part in it. Okay. And they have given away for an harlot and sold a girl for wine. For what? Merchandise. So what? They were trading. They were trading what? Slaves. Okay. That they might drink. Yeah, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon and all the coast of Palestine? Would you render me a recompense? So this Lord's being sarcastic. Are you gonna repay me for what you've done to my people? Okay, which they're not. Okay. And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, I will return your recompense upon your own head. And that's what Yahshua is going to do. Turn that recompense meaning recompense me to pay back. So Yahushua is going to pay these nations back. By what? By bringing them into that region of the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahushaphat. Okay? Because you have taken my silver, my gold, and have carried into your temples. Okay? In the time of what the so-called, and this was during the what? This is actually going further back from the transatlantic slave trade, the Babylonian captivity. Remember, all nations had a hand in that captivity. Even before the transatlantic slave trade. Every nation we've been under captivity under them. Every nation. Okay? And I've carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, and the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, Edomites, okay, that ye might remove them far from their border. And this is part of us discontinuing from our heritage, not knowing who we are, because we were moved from our border. So over time, when you start to live in somebody else's border or their land, you start taking on their customs. And this is why it's slowly the knowledge and wisdom started to what? Fade away. And we forgot who we were, and we started calling ourselves by these other nations and their philosophies. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where you have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own head. So now we're being raised out of the place where we were sold. Okay. So let's go to Isaiah 11:11. Let's stay on topic. There's so much different scriptures to get into. Isaiah 11 and 11. And it says, Isaiah 11:11, okay, and it says, I'm on the right one, yes, Isaiah 11, and let's start at 10. In that day there shall be a root of Jesse, okay, so what's a root? Okay, a root is the beginning, okay, and that root of Jesse stems from who? Yahushua. Okay. It shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. And who's Jesse? Jesse is King David's father. Okay. Which King David, who did he give birth to? Solomon. Who is Yahushua? So Yahushua had what? Different fathers in different lifetime. Okay. There shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign. What's an ensign? A flag, a banner. Okay. Of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek. So it was said the Gentiles were going to seek. And who were the Gentiles that were going to seek this word? They were going to be what? Israelites. In a Gentile state of mind. Just how we were Gentiles once upon a time. Okay. And his rest shall be glorious. Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that Lord Yahushua shall set his hand again the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, because the first time it was out of Egypt. All of Israel was delivered out of Egypt, but this time it's going to be different. Not all of our people are going to be delivered out of this captivity. Only 144,000, 1/3 men, women and children. That's who we're concerned with, and we hope to be of that hopeful elect ourselves. Lord Ratazar, Babakashah, Babakashah, Babakashah. Okay. For the second time, first time is in Egypt, but this second time is going to be what? Out of America and the different lands which we are scattered in. Until it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. So the Gentiles would have to be Israelites. For them to seek the Lord Yahushua, they would have to be Israelites. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahushua shall set his hand again the second time, okay, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. So you got a people in the land of Assyria, okay, scattered, okay, actually scattered. The region of Mesopotamia, Iraq. Okay, a lot of them Iraqis, what? They're Israelites. A lot of them got flavor. A lot of them Iraqis, you might mistake some of them for the northern tribes. Okay, because the northern tribes were there. So what happened when the northern tribes were scattered into Assyria? Do you think they didn't lay down with other women, the Assyrian women? No, they did. And that's why you got our people in Iraq. You may look at certain clips on the news and you're looking at, hold on a minute, these individuals, they have the flavor of what? A flavor of what? Israelites. Why? Because remember, wherever our people were, they laid down with their women. Okay? We shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt. Okay? Even amongst them Egyptians, the so-called Sudanese, they're the Egyptians. Okay? You got our people amongst them Sudanese. Okay? Which is what? South of Egypt, if I'm correct. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. and from Paphos, okay, even the islands of the Mediterranean, and from Cush. You got a people up in Athens, you got a people in Greece, you got a people in Cyprus. Well, where's Cyprus? I believe it's Kittim, if I'm saying it right. You even got a people amongst them. And from Egypt and from Paphos and from Cush, okay. Even amongst them Ethiopians, you got a lot of our people amongst them. The Eritreans and the I don't know if I'm saying it right. Arumos, if I'm saying it right. And from Elam, okay. And you know definitely a lot of them, because there's billions. There's not millions of Elamites, which so-called Indians. There's billions, okay. So even amongst them Elamites, you've got Israelites, Punjab, Untouchables, the Dalits, a lot of our people, even the light skin. It's not a dark thing. They don't have to be dark. Get all that out of your mind. That means you're still colored. They don't have to be dark. It's nothing to do with skin color. Because you have light skin Elamites that are Jake, okay. And I'm seeing more and more Elamites actually. You can tell now this is Jake, man. Elam, okay. Maybe just a minute. And from Paphos and from Cush and from Elam and from Sinai, okay. And from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. So in other words, our people are going to be scattered all over, okay. And he shall set up an ensign, Yahushua, for the nations. That ensign is what? The word. This word is a flag, okay. The 12 tribes sign. That's an ensign as well. A flag, a banner, okay. And those that take to it. Because you may have a man, this is the thing. You may have a man say, well, I'm an Israelite. Okay, he may look like Wesley Snipes, maybe dark, but guess what? He's wicked. He don't even believe in the scriptures. So, well, you see the contrast. And this is why there's many stumbling blocks, and what we went into, and rock of offenses. So if you're not spiritual, this can become a rock of offense to you, okay. Because you may be looking at a man, well, he ain't circumcised, he ain't practicing all the customs, but he believes and you don't believe. So you're going to be destroyed. So you see why faith is so important. Now we keep the law, bear me just a minute, but you see why faith is so important. Because what the law couldn't do, faith can get you through, okay. Because you may have individuals, and it was the same in Jerusalem. What did you have? That contention between Paul, because they were getting offended at him bringing in Israelite foreigners. Oh, but they're not this, they're not that. But Paul was saying, look, they're new to the faith, don't stress it. Over time they'll pick things up, but they have faith. So Yahushua is dealing with them. When you had them Jews in Jerusalem, they were more so bent on all the laws, which they were not keeping themselves. So that's where that contention came. But Paul was letting them know, no, don't stress them, because over time they'll pick these things up. Just like me, when I first came to the truth, I wasn't keeping the Sabbaths like that. The Sabbaths, the holy days, Day of Atonement, just the different. And over time you pick it up. The first thing you do is what? Stop shaving your beards. You grow your beard out. That's the first thing you do. You stop eating pork. These are the easy things. Okay, stop committing adultery. Okay, if you were doing that, and so forth. So there's things you can do according to the law which are easy. No excuse. Our people don't want to do it because they're wicked. But if you come into the truth, over time, Yahushua will have it where you're what? You're rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay? See, what I've realized, the men that don't really have faith, they try to substitute faith with the law. And if you have faith, you're going to keep the law anyway, because you have faith and you have fear. If you don't have faith, then you're not going to keep the law. Okay? But where we fall short on the law, that's where Yahushua comes in. So if you're trying to remove Yahushua and say the law, then you've already failed. Because you do know the reason why we're in this condition, because we broke the law. You do know why we have Yahushua as a mediator, because we broke the law. So for you to try and completely do away with Yahushua and say the law, that means really you're an anti-Mashiach. You do know you have a thing as non-Messianic Jews. Yes, you do have that. They don't